Again, I want to thank you for being here today and welcome each one of you. My title for today is How to Stop Doing It Yet Again, or Why Is This Happening to Me Again? As some of you know, I ended up quite ill last week and was sick for 7 days. And I kept thinking about what is going on here. And I know part of it is that my daughter has moved, and even though I know that's a great thing for her, for me, and then I started thinking about some other things. And I know when I get signs that I'm supposed to look at them, that I'm supposed to see them and use them. But it has been very interesting to look back over probably the last 25 years, because I have known for at least 20 years that I was supposed to write a book. So the first thing that happened was regular people don't write books. And then the next thing that happened was meeting regular people who write books. And then I went to probably the last CSL conference I went to 4 or 5 years ago. They were talking about putting together a program to help CSL ministers and practitioners and people writing books. And as I said, it's probably been 4 or 5 years since I've been to a conference, and that's the only thing I remember from that conference. And again, I kept meeting more and more people who had wrote books. And then I was asked to do a foreword for a book that 2 of my congregants had written. And it was interesting because when they were looking for an illustrator, someone recommended this woman to them who lived, I think, out on the West Coast. And as most of you know, I'm in the Eastern time zone of the United States. And when she read their material, she said, what's your belief system? Because you sure sound a lot like what I believe. And come to find out, she was a CSL practitioner. And then Reverend Jane told me about the writer's workshop that she had been to part of it at one of the conferences she went to. And I checked it out and I signed up. And the workshop is next week. And part of the reason, and I kept thinking this week, what is going on with me? And I realized that the illness and the lead feeling in the middle of my stomach right now is my fear showing up. That, what if I don't succeed? What if I can't do this? What if? And when I thought about this, I kept thinking about the law of cause and effect and of building walls and ceilings and things that block us from achieving our goals. In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes says, everything in the physical universe is an effect and exists only by virtue of some of the invisible cause. Man's individuality enables him to make such use of the law as he desires or she desires. We are bound not by limitation, but by what we understand of the law, as the law is one of liberty and not bondage. The power within each one of us frees us from all distasteful conditions if the law governing this power is properly understood and utilized. He also says cause and effect are about the two sides of the same thing, one being an image in the mind and the other an objective condition. So when I looked at this, I thought, okay, what is going on here? I'm terrified. I admit it. I'm afraid. I went through the information on the website about this workshop. I did about an hour-and-a-half program that they had available. I found it quite easy, and I know my material quite well. but I'm still blocking my flow. I'm still blocking I'm still putting a box around what I can achieve. One of the things we know is that with God, as all things are possible. And at Yana, we truly believe that God is our business partner and that God is there to help us and support us. And when I go to fear instead of believing that I can do anything I set out to with the help and guidance of God, I have blocked myself in. I have created my own wall. I have created my own ceiling and my own barricades. So what do I need to do to change this? And the thing that kept coming up for me was Mary Morrissey's first brave tool, which is notice what you're noticing. And I have spent many years watching my thoughts and trying to really be conscious about my thoughts, to the point that my thoughts are usually pretty good anymore. So it's the ones that are even deeper than that. I need to ask myself, what am I really feeling? And it was when I finally asked myself what I was really feeling, especially with the appearance of the illness and finally acknowledging that I am in fear over doing this workshop. What do I really feel? What is my longing and discontent? My longing is to write this book. My longing is to see this book appear wherever it is to appear, either as a part of my workshop on Amazon, both as a speaking tool, whatever it is to be. That is my desire. And it has moved from something that I want to something that I must do. And I know this, and I'm very pleased it's how it's gone. And I'm very pleased that I am to the point to finally do this, because I'm not exaggerating when I say that I've known I was supposed to do this for 20 years. I may not have realized what the topic was until about the last 5 or 6 years, but I've known that this is part of my calling as a minister and as a servant of God, is to write this book on forgiveness, to have it out there for other people to use. That is a book that not only says that you need to forgive, but gives you ideas on how to forgive and ways and processes to use in the forgiveness process. So I know that noticing what I'm thinking, noticing what I'm feeling is very important. I also know that I need to let go of the past, that I need to let go of any past doubts I may have had, such as believing that normal people don't write books and that it's something hard to do. Again, changing my perception to accept that anyone can write a book. I'm sure we've all heard that everyone has at least one book in them. Well, I'm going to prove that I have at least one book in me, and I think I have more than that. And to really ground this and to get it even at a deeper level, I need to remember to do my prayer and meditation. To when I get stuck, to turn it over to God. Because with God as my partner, I can do anything. And it is my plan and my desire to embrace that with God, I can do anything. And to remind myself of that every day and to make small changes along the way. And as Mary reminds us in her Brave Tools, to do something every day, no matter how simple it is, even if it's just to jot down a note to check and see what Charles Raymond Barker says about forgiveness, or if he says anything about forgiveness, or what Ernest Holmes says about forgiveness. And one of the things a friend of mine who's done a Montessori website has done is when she's writing, she puts one of her Montessori teachers on one shoulder and I think it's Maria Montessori on the other shoulder. So she has her guides there directing her in what she is putting on paper, what she's putting down to put on her website for other Montessori teachers to use. And so I know with Ernest Holmes on one shoulder and whoever I choose to be on the other shoulder that particular day, that I am always guided and directed, and that I can believe in myself in this moment and every moment. Holmes says about business, I believe in God and business, and I believe in the business of human living, whatever it be, writing a poem or running a store. There is always something greater than we are that we may call upon. So let us thank God for our businesses, our business of living as real and actual, as dynamic and practical. So Holmes says, our business is part of our life, and there's something greater that we can call on at all times. So how I'm not going to do this again is I am going to remember that with God as my partner, I can do anything. That I can let go of the fear and I can embrace the courage to take the step and get on the airplane Sunday and fly to Denver to do this 4-day workshop, with the results being a very good start on the book that I plan to write, that God has guided me to do. So I honor each one of you in remembering that with God, all things are possible. And if it's not happening, we're probably the ones that put the wall there. So I honor you in taking steps to take down your wall and join me in this great adventure. Thank you.